Hi, this is Steve Rothstein from Rothstein Model Trains. I hope you can hear this okay over the background noise. We're not in our house where we normally make these. We went out exploring this week to look at a different aspect of the model railroad hobby that we hadn't looked into before. You may remember we use N gauge, which is a pretty small train. The tracks are only 9 millimeters apart. I knew that there were bigger tracks. I've seen HL. We had O gauge like Lionel before. I knew there was a larger gauge than that called G, or garden gauge railroading. I'd vaguely heard once of number 1 gauge, never seen it before. And then we found something else that's brand new to us that I had not heard of before as a hobby, or as an aspect of this hobby, called live steam. And we came out to the Houston area live steamers to look at it. Houston area live steamers is a private club. They've managed to work a deal out with Harris County, Texas, to use the park for their layout. And they have a lot of track in a layout that's about almost 4,700 feet for the main part, plus a bunch of sidings and all that in it. Going to start with, we went to look at, they have a smaller track that has the number 1 gauge. Number 1 gauge track, the rails are about 2 inches apart, I think. It looks like it. So it's a little bit bigger than the garden gauge railroads. It's the first time I've seen them. The ones we saw, and you'll see a clip of in a minute, are 2 live steam engines. By live steam, I mean that they're a steam locomotive that gets its power by water being boiled, just like a real one. In this case, they're both running a oil or a natural gas, or butane that is, to burn for the heat. And it was fascinating to me to watch them. The live steam rest of it is a hobby where they run larger trains that you can actually ride on. And we're going to show you some, the big ones here. And live steam's a little bit of a misnomer because most of these aren't steam. They run on track that is 7.5 inches apart, and they pull trains that, as you'll see in some of our videos, give you 10 to 30 people riding the train with you. They can pull several cars. You got some that have multiple engines hooked up like a real train does, to get even longer than that. And let's look at these, and we'll hopefully announce them as we get to them and tell you what's going on. Thank you. These are the 2 steam trains and the 1 gauge that we talked about. Since they're self-powered, the track has no power to it. Not electrified like the smaller gauges, like the N gauge I'm used to. And that means they have to use radio control to signal the train speed up and all. There you see a shot of the actual radio they use. These are some shots of the 1/8 scale trains that they run that you can ride on. We'll try and get you some closer up ones in a minute. This one has 3 locomotives. These locomotives are powered either by electric motors or by gas motors, using either hydrostatic or hydraulic fluid to the truck to make it move, or an electric motor on the truck. As you can see, he's pulling into the station. These are the rules for all the visitors. And we've loaded up the train and we're going to go on a ride. As you see us pulling out of the station, you can get a shot. You can see all the track and the switches and all. It is laid out very much like a real railroad, with a yard there, and the switches controlling how you collect on it, how you move directions. Buildings for scenery, what they put up for storage of the railroad track cars, I mean. As with the real trains, occasionally you gotta wait for the one in front of you. 1/8 scale, make it like the regular train layout, model layout like I've got, but to the scale that they built the train in.
See the walrus? Look at all the little bronze statues.
Railroad safety practices. That's the same as you'll do when the trains are approaching a regular crossing. Pay attention to it. Pretty much natural. Didn't make it all arc-like and grass like you can see it. Left some wood. Arm on the side, on the ground next to the track, and indicates two white lines on which direction to go. Track is that direction. See one second. How far back you can take it. Switch that way, left.
why you have some crossings to park maintenance if you get into phenomenon. Police vehicles crossing there. There are all the reasons for those crossings. Be able to get it before the front locomotive enter the switch. Thank the Houston area live streamers for doing this. They have open to the public rides once a month, most months. You can look on their website to see it. And as you can see from the trains that they have here, that we caught pictures of, they get a big crowd of people every week. This is actually one of their garages where they work on the locomotives. And they've got a converted car lift that they can slide up and down and move things around. Thank you. Thank Houston area live streamers. We had a great time. Hope you enjoyed this video.